This is an area near the Blair estate in North Ayrshire. Since 1747, the maps have marked this area as Blair Mains. Later maps, Ordnance Survey maps, 1850s, showed a Blair Mains and a school here, with two buildings, one of which may have been the teacher's house, the other may have been the school room. We've got Temple and Muir Farm near here, a rural district with plenty of farms, certainly an old photograph taken perhaps in around the 1900s of the school shows over 40 pupils present. A lot of history to it. This is the boundary wall here of the Blair estate. And just the other side of the boundary wall, the maps mark a pre-Reformation chapel, although nothing now remains above ground. There's also a small house was once present, just the other side of the wall up here. That seemed to have gone by the 1890s. The maps show a path running through the site down to two well structures. Just over here, just inside the field, may be one of the wells, but the other well is a much more complex structure. In fact, it's hard to decide whether it is a well, in terms of it looks very much like an ice house. Now this was a wooded area, so it may be, ice houses were typically built in wooded areas. It's very well built, very well worked and shaped sandstone. It's had a wall in front of it, which has had at one point a door. You can see the bricks where the door has been blocked up before the whole structure fell forward. You can make out here the mortar that at one point held the wall upright. There's still water inside, but it's very well constructed. Beautifully dressed sandstone, large blocks, very well carved, very well put together. There does appear to be some slippage here. The arch appears to have collapsed slightly. But all of this speaks of a very expensive and well-made structure. So a well seems a little unlikely. You can make out the mound above it. Now Billy Long is the gentleman whose father had informed him of the existence of this. So it's thanks to Billy that its existence has been recorded. We're now looking up towards where the school was. One point a path ran down from the school just to the wells. That was the earliest state of the school. But by the 1890s, the Blair Mains buildings had been demolished. And it would appear that a wooden structure with a simple toilet block has been constructed as the school building. And the maps indicate that perhaps by 1907 or so, the school was largely out of use. Certainly the surviving photograph that may be of the school pupils, all 40 or so of them, it shows them in appropriate uniform or dress. Wouldn't be a uniform, a dress for that time. So this is the site of the school. There is a metal fence running around the outside of the buildings. This is the site of the old school from the road. The fence that's here appears really to be of a later date. It looks as if it's been fenced off to stop people from dumping, because there's a number of mounds of material here that look as though they've been brought in from somewhere else. So the school would have stood somewhere in this area. So originally two buildings with a path leading down to the well and the other structure, and later a wooden building with a toilet block and a path on the other side that ran down from one road to the other. Set in a nice area. There's more woodland here. This doesn't appear to have any structures within it. Appears to be just a small copse, a small sort of fox covert, an area set aside for wildlife. This is the road down to Temple and Muir, which continues on towards Cleve Cove and Blair Mill.